What's up, my beautiful tribe folk? Miss Iraka here, checking in, saying what's up. Just finished up my day, quite eventful. Um, yeah, it's been good. Today was a good day. Um, Personally, I was just made a real cool appointment today. In my purpose, and I'm very excited about it. I never thought it would have come. I wasn't even anticipating it. Like, so, even though you don't know it, but your name and your next opportunity is on someone's lips at this very moment. And you don't even know it. I know this to be true because I've talked about opportunities for people today and they have no idea about it. I just think it's funny how life works. But I would say to you, um, things might feel difficult right now, but the good is outweighing the bad overall, you know? And just reminding yourself of that, like there's a greater good that's working all around us all the time. And we're in the trenches, and we sometimes forget that there's always going to be some good. So today was a good day. So I want to talk today. I was really trying to figure out, like, what do I want to talk about? I've had some ideas of things I wanted to check in on. But for some reason, for like the past 2 or 3 days, I've been thinking a lot about the women in my favorite book. So I told you I'm a reader. But one of my favorite books to read is the Bible. The Bible is full of principles, laws, promises, and stories of how people experience God or how they witness people experiencing God. Um, the God we serve, the God I serve. And it's just a really cool book. So I have 3 favorite books of the Bible, but one I have an honorable mention. But there's 3 favorite books in the Bible. A fourth is a honorable mention. Today I want to talk about number 2 and 3, and then my honorable mention. My number 1 is Job, hands down. When my dad died, my uncle was like, "You should read the book of Job," and I read that, and it saved me. Book of Job. He was a soldier. If you, honey, Job lost everything. Like, if you get it worse off than Job, like, bless you, Lord. So, Book of Job's the top 1, but I'm not going to talk about that one today. But I am going to talk about my number 2 and 3. The Book of Esther and the Book of Ruth. I haven't read neither of them in a very long time. I've read them several times, but I haven't read one. I think it's probably been since I've gotten married. About 10 years I haven't read about Esther or Ruth. I probably like bumped into them or something, during my studying, but for the most part I have not read those books. So much so that I had to kind of just go and brush up on Esther because I couldn't remember how it ends. But what I want to do is talk to you about those stories and talk and just demonstrate to you women of power, women of courage, women of, you know, just just solid women. I call them, they're my sisters. Another place and another time, but I still consider them sisters because they taught me a lot. So Esther and Ruth are my favorite books in the Bible, right? So much so to where my middle name is actually Esther Ruth. Just so happened that she's also named after both of her great grandmothers. My grandmother and my husband's grandmother. His grandmother name is Ruthie. So we got Ruth. And then my grandmother name is Vester. So we got Esther. Esther Ruth. I've always liked the name Vester, but in my family, all of our names start with E. And the second middle name starts with the E for the girls. So Esther Ruth. So let me tell you about Esther. No, let me start with Ruth. Ruth is sweet. Ruth is loyal. She's committed and dedicated. Like she's just a good doer, a great doer, and possibly a dreamer. But I think Ruth had lost her husband. She had opportunities to go other places and do other things and have a different life. But she chose instead to stay with her mother-in-law. She committed herself to her mother-in-law. And the mother-in-law like, girl, you better go and live your life. She was like, no, I'm committed to you. As long as you got breath in your body, I'm going to take care of you. And they're living in a time where the man was the provider. So when the lady's son died, Ruth's husband, they were poor. They didn't have nothing. And so they went back to the mother's village. And in the mother's village, Ruth became a crop worker. She would pick crops to feed the family. I don't know if she did it for wages, but I know she was definitely doing it so they can eat. And like they had farm workers out there, that the king employed who picked the crops. And the king notices Ruth's work ethic. And when he notices her work ethic, he tells the guys who supervise the fields, every day after you've gathered your crops, leave some for her. So he made her job easier. So this girl out here picking crops, trying to feed her and her mother-in-law, the king notices her. She ain't got on no makeup. She ain't trying to look pretty. She ain't dressed up. She out there putting in work with the fellas. She wasn't out there saying, hey, Boaz. Y'all know how women be saying, I want my Boaz. That's who they're talking about. That's who identifies Ruth, King Boaz. He ended up taking her in. She became the queen. I just think that just be your best version of yourself for you. You don't know who's paying attention to you. You don't. And then there's the next one, Esther, my girl. She's a wild child. So there's this king. And the king is pretty vicious. His first wife refused to go to some type of dinner or something with him. And he banished her from his presence. Like, get out my face. I don't ever want to talk to you again. If you ever come back, I'll probably take your head off. Like, he dismissed her. And so this place needed a new queen. Esther was a Jewish woman, and the king, I think he was Palestinian. Please don't quote me on these guys. Like, I haven't read these books in a long time, so I'm doing this from memory. So if I'm getting any facts wrong, put them in my comments, okay? But the king dismisses his wife, and now he needs a new queen. And they put a call out for all the women who could potentially become the queens of the king to come to this gathering of some sort. So then there's Esther. Her uncle is, I think he's pretty, like, he has some type of rank or something in society. And, like, he drops the gem for her to, like, get in this contest. And at the same time, she get into the contest. She's selected as the queen. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful, beautiful young girl. And her uncle reminds me of me and my uncle, the man in my life. You can't tell if Mordecai, I think this is his name, Mordecai, you can't tell if he's Esther's uncle or like mature cousin, close cousin, but he's raising her as a father figure. My dad died when I was 12. And when he died, he had this cousin who was his first cousin, his best friend. This gentleman stepped in and served as my father figure. Taught me the game, taught me the business, just supported me, sent me some money when I was poor in college. looked out for me. So like I relate to their relationship. And so he tells Ruth to, get in this contest. She gets in the contest. She wins. She becomes queen. Fast forward some time. One of the king's senior, his right hand pretty much, his official, gets offended by a Jewish person and put a decree out to kill all the Jewish people because this man has stepped on his toes, hurt his ego, and now he's finna kill all the Jewish people. It's crazy. But he does this. Mind you, the queen is Jewish. So I don't even think old boy considered the fact that the king is going to sign off on killing his queen. You crazy. So the decree goes out. Esther's uncle goes into hiding. He's able to converse with her somehow during this time. And he tells her, like, you got to talk to the king. Like, this is crazy. You got to talk to the king. So Esther organizes at this point, because I don't know if it's because she's Jewish, but, some time goes by and she hadn't even been in the king hadn't even seen her like in a month. And so who knows what the king's saying, what he know. All she know is that a decree came down that you're going to have to kill all the Jewish people and the queen will be included. And so she hadn't been in her husband's presence in over a month, who knows how long. And now her uncle, her first man, and her husband becomes her first man after they're married, but before it was the husband, it was him. This was her man, the man of her life. Tells her she got to go and talk to this king. And so she got to talk to the king. So that's why I call Esther brave. So she calls a dinner with the king and her uncle. Somehow before the dinner, the doggone second guy puts a hit out on the uncle before the decree is even signed. They get to the dinner, and Ruth just steps straight to the king and be like, look, they got a decree out to kill the Jewish people, and it's whack. And the king was like, what? He was like, no. And then she tells on the guy who sets the decree. She points to him. And the king is like, who gave you the authority to do that? That's stupid. And so, that's a good story. Y'all should read it. Even if you're not a practicer, just read it. It's just a good women empowerment story. So, yeah. And so the king he sends out another decree that night and say, nobody, if you put your hand on a Jewish person, you're done. And then he gave Esther the house of the guy who put a hit out on her and all of her people's life. And she maintained her queen position. Okay, and then finally, yeah, I look so tired. I've had a long day. The honorable mention, Song of Solomon. It's just so romantical, as the Little Rascals would say. She's so romantical. That book is so cool because they don't name the woman. They don't call her name, but she's the bride. And she's surrounded by all of her bridesmaids, all of these women. So like me, I'm, in my queendom, I'm surrounding myself with sisters so they could pour into me and get me ready. But she's with her bridesmaids and they're talking about her love and he's coming and what he's going to do when he come, and they're bathing and smelling good and doing hair, just getting all nice. And then the second voice is the king. I guess it's King Solomon. I never quite... Is it King Solomon? The king is coming towards her. And he's lamenting on, what's going to happen. What is it going to be like when he get there? What he's going to do. And it's just so, like... It's just such a sweet story. And I appreciate it. And it's like... I don't know. I just thought that'd be an honorable mention. And this is actually a really quick read. But Songs of Solomon is beautiful. It shows romance and passion for each other, and desire and how a woman should just really, yeah, I'm trying to grow up and be that. Anyways, I'm at 15 minutes and 5 seconds. That's too long. These videos are starting to get long. I need to slow down. I got a lot to talk about. Maybe I'll start doing part twos or something. But in closing, do something for yourself every day. Nurture that woman that's inside of you that God designed you to be. Take an hour each day for self-care, whatever it is. It could be you laying on the floor. It could be you watching TV, watching your favorite show. Tonight, I went to yoga. It was my first time going to yoga in years, but it was so necessary. So I know what I'm going to be doing on Wednesday nights. I'm also swimming laps. I go to the Y 2 times a week, early in the morning at 5:30. And 5 o'clock, I get there about 5:30. I try to get a 5 o'clock lane, but the issue with the place I go to swim at is the morning slots are always full. And so even if I register at 5 o'clock, that lane is taken. So now I have to wait until 6 o'clock. So I sit in the sauna, listen to my YouTube. I listen to my sermons for the day. And about 6 o'clock, I get in there, get out, be home by 7 o'clock in time to get my kids ready for school. Do it 2 days a week. And now I'm finna do this nighttime yoga class. So I'm finna start taking care of my body again. The babies are done, I think. Yeah, they done. So now it's time to take care of my body, get my body back. And I've been enjoying it. So if you've listened this long and you appreciate what I'm saying, I'm really curious on what you're thinking. So send me, go in the comments and tell me what you think about what I'm doing. Like, is it boring? Is it long? Am I really rambling? I heard that a second time. Maybe I'm rambling. But I'm enjoying myself and I'm learning a lot. So I'll take that. So if you like this video, you watched it, I'm going to be doing some more of these. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments. I want to hear what you're thinking. And I'll be seeing you guys again soon. Oh my God, I'm hitting 18 minutes. Lord, I got to do better. All right. Anyways, peace out, y'all. Thank you.